Hey, it's Phil from Habit Bootcamps, and in this video I want to talk about the 10 lessons I learned from doing a 30-day no porn challenge. Now, the past 30 days, me and my community have made a commitment to do a 30-day no porn challenge. Not checking out any porn or erotic images on our smartphone, in our head, or on our computer. So in this video, I want to talk about the 10 lessons I learned from doing this for 30 days. Lesson number 1. It's all about bright lines, clear boundaries, and having 100% commitment. When you're addicted to something, which in essence means it has control over you and you don't have control over it, it's really important to have 100% commitment. To say, I'm 100% not going to indulge in this addiction anymore. Because it's really hard when you have an addiction to moderate. Because when you try to moderate an addiction, you have to decide every time if it's the right moment, if it's the right occasion to indulge in the behavior. So in the past, when I struggled with a weed addiction, I just quit cold turkey and quit it completely. In the past, I tried to moderate it and saying I'm only going to smoke in the weekend or I'm only going to do it at the end of the evening. But that bag of weed was laying there and 9 out of 10 times I said no. But the 10th time I said yes and I indulged in the addiction again. So it's very hard to moderate when you're dealing with an addiction. It's better to have a clear boundary, a bright line, and saying, I'm not going to do it anymore. That way it's very clear. You don't have to make a choice. It doesn't tax any willpower. It's just a no. So if you have a bad addiction and you really want to get rid of it, it's better to quit it completely and stay committed, because moderating will be really difficult and that bad habit and addiction will keep on pulling you. Lesson number 2, it's a matter of dealing with the urges and the increased energy. When you quit watching porn, you will have this increased tension in your body, and you will also be able to notice the urges within your body, the temptations, the sensations that arise that moves you towards watching porn. But you can step in between stimulus and reaction and choose a more empowered response. But it'll be very interesting and insightful in the beginning to see what it does with your body, what it does with your mind, what it's pulling you to do. So just becoming more conscious, more aware of what's happening in your life, in your body, in your mind, in which situations you are more prone to watch porn will give you a lot of insight. You will see that all this imagination, thoughts, energy is building up in your body. And instead of using that favorite strategy of watching porn, you can choose to use that energy more constructively. So don't judge yourself by all these things that are coming up. You are becoming more aware. And with more awareness, we can choose a reaction, a response, instead of an instinctual, habitual response that we've been doing for years. But in the beginning, it will be weird to see what it does with your body and how much tension there is in your body. As in the past with the previous example, when I was smoking weed daily, my senses were a bit numbed out and I didn't see how much of an effect that weed had on my body, on my perception. And when in the past I quit smoking weed and after a long while I smoked weed again, I became very aware of what the effects were on my body and like, whoa, because my senses were way more sharper than when I was smoking weed daily. It's the same thing when you quit watching porn. You will have a lot more awareness and you will be a lot more conscious about all the things that are happening in your mind and your body. Lesson number 3, the first 2-3 weeks are the hardest. This is an addiction you've been doing for such a long time. So it also will take a long time to get rid of it. But especially in the beginning, that pull of that bad addiction, that porn use has been so strong that you will be struggling with yourself. Second week and the third week often are the hardest ones. Because after a week, then the urge to finally indulge in this addiction really becomes difficult. So it's a matter of pushing through this period where there's a lot of resistance of doing the good behavior and you want to find the path of least resistance, which is going back to the addiction, but realize that in time it will become easier and easier and easier. So it will be a bit of a struggle with yourself the second and third week, but it will give you a lot of insight. It will cultivate a lot of discipline and willpower if you just stay on track during this period. Realize that in time it will become easier and more comfortable. You just have to build enough good habits that replace those bad habits and addictive behaviors you did in the past, and then that new behavior, that will become your default mode. But for that to become default mode, you need a lot of repetitions, you need a lot of consistency, so you just need to commit yourself to stay on track. So don't overload yourself, especially when you quit a bad habit and an addiction. Don't do any major habit changes or lifestyle changes. It will overload and overwhelm you. Just choose to commit on this important addiction you want to quit, stay on track, and gain momentum. Lesson number 4. You have to find a better alternative to deal with that increase in sexual and physical energy. Because you're quitting this bad habit and you've been using this porn addiction to find relief and finally relax, you will have more energy inside your body. So instead of using porn and then finding relief and masturbating, you want to find a better alternative. And one of the best alternatives is doing exercise. Exercise also stimulates the dopamine reward circuitries in your brain, and afterwards it will release opioids in your brain. So it will rewire your brain in a healthier way. Instead of dispensing your energy through porn and through coming, you can actually build something. You can build your body, you can break it down with exercise, and it will build itself up again. So doing exercise is a bit like taking Ritalin and taking Prozac. It will focus your attention and it relaxes your mood. So it's a great alternative to watching porn. You will also cultivate willpower and discipline by lifting weights or doing exercise. So if you feel you can't deal with this increased energy, it's much better to do something constructive and express that energy in a much healthier way than just letting it dissipate by masturbating, watching porn, and coming. Lesson number 5. I don't have the illusion that I finally got rid of it and I won't be tempted. It will take a while to get rid of this porn addiction, especially since I've been doing it for years. So I don't have an illusion that I won't be tempted and that I finally quit this porn addiction. In the past, I tried to do no porn challenges for a month, and there were some situations in my life that I didn't feel good and I relapsed again. So especially in situations where you feel stressed, anxious, depressed, lonely, or after a breakup, you will be much more prone to indulge in this self-medicating porn addiction again. Because it's been your favorite way to find short-term pleasure in the past, you will feel much more prone to escape to this behavior again. So watch yourself. So especially in these low moments in your life, be very careful to not go back to these bad habits and addictions again. Also, there are these things like drinking beer, smoking weed that reduces impulse control, which will make you much more prone to watch porn again. So be aware, be conscious of in which environments you put yourself in. See how you feel, step in between that stimulus and reaction, and choose a better strategy to cope with your negative feelings and emotions than just watching porn again. Because as soon as we slip up, as soon as we retreat to the porn addiction again, we can start finding excuses again and developing that consistency of that porn addiction again. So all that momentum that we've been building up of not watching porn, using better alternatives, will be gone after a while if we retreat to watching porn again. So stay on track, realize it will take time, and be patient. And especially in difficult moments, don't watch porn. Step away from that favorite strategy from the past and choose a better alternative. Lesson number 6. I feel a lot more present and in touch with my body and my sexuality. By not watching porn, I was much more in touch with my sensations, temptations, urges, how I felt, my feelings in my body. And I became much more connected with myself and the present moment. I haven't been able to not be on dating apps during this entire challenge, and I had sex during this challenge, but I must say that when I had sex, I wasn't using porn to get aroused. I wasn't getting inside my head. I was much more in touch with my body and my partner's body and being present. I also was able to hold up an erection for a much longer time than in the past because you're so used to being aroused by porn. You need these images to stay aroused. So I'm so glad that I've been able to connect more with myself, be much more in touch with myself, with the moment, and not fleeing to my mind and trying to find an escape from the present moment again. So this is a great way to get more in touch with your body, with the sensations, be aroused from being in the moment instead of using artificial porn images or erotic images in your mind. And you can really be present in real time with somebody who actually is there and cares about you, than somebody who is there behind the screen, very safe, She's not judging you, but you're not really being intimate and present with another person and especially with yourself. Lesson number 7. It's okay to masturbate. If you feel this increased tension and urge and energy and you're really looking for a way to release, it's okay to masturbate. If you have these blue balls and it's becoming too much, it's okay to masturbate, but don't watch porn and don't use pornographic images. It will be a challenge by itself by just focusing on your body, sensations in your body, or a partner or somebody who exists in real life. That way you're connecting with real life experiences and not virtual or artificial experiences. So it's great to not masturbate or no fap during this challenge. But after a while, if it really becomes too much, you can masturbate under these conditions. But don't retreat to compulsive masturbating again when that becomes a bad addiction. Do it maybe once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, every month when you feel it's okay. But make it limited. You want to use this challenge as no porn, no fap, no masturbation to really be able to deal with that energy in your body in a more creative and expressive way. But when it becomes too much, it's okay once in a while to find a way of release, but choose a healthy way. Again, a way that gets you in touch with yourself, with the present moment, and with your own body. You don't want to become a monk who isn't sexual anymore and isn't in touch with his sexuality, but you want to express it in a healthy and more constructive and expressive. Lesson number 8. It's important to have support on this journey. People who share their experiences, their insight, their feelings, their emotions, their slips, their relapses, so you feel you're not alone in this. A lot of people, young men but also women, are struggling with this. And when you read their stories, you will know that you're not alone. Because often we're doing this secretly, nobody's watching, and we don't know if other people are also struggling with this. But it's a huge problem. And when you read these stories and you recognize yourself, you feel like, yes, it's normal, I can get through this. It has its ups and downs, but I can do this. There's other people who are supporting me, and there's a platform for me to talk about this and read more about this. So realize, so you're not strange, it's not weird, a lot of people are dealing with this, and yes, you can definitely find help and find and read stories of other people who also overcame this porn addiction. Which also leads me to lesson number 9. A lot of people are dealing with this, especially young men. During this challenge in my Habit Bootcamps community, a lot of people sent me a message that they struggled with porn addiction. They wanted to find out more about how porn addiction works, the negative consequences, where they can find help, and what some solutions are. So realize that it is an issue for a lot of people, especially young men. And they want to find a better way to relate with themselves, with other women, and with the world. And that porn addiction is not serving them anymore. And when you can find a safe place, some person who you can talk about this, you will be surprised about how many people actually are wondering if they have a porn addiction and where they can find help. Which leads me to lesson number 10, the fact that you can find help and assistance. There's a lot of resources about this topic. There are some great porn recovery coaches. You can find some below and some links for people who can help you if you feel that you want to solve and overcome this porn addiction. You can get through this definitely. With any addiction, you can find some proper help, guidance, and assistance who can guide you through the process. It are people who actually been porn addicted themselves. They know about the dark truths, the secrets, the behaviors you do. They won't be surprised when you mention certain things because they know how dark and deep a porn addiction can go. So if you want to have a conversation, an honest conversation with some people who've been through it themselves, you can talk openly about any struggles you have and they can guide you through it, and you can learn from their experiences how they overcame that porn addiction. Reach out to these people and find some help. Because oftentimes we know what addictions are actually holding us back, but we feel a bit shameful talking about it. You won't have to feel ashamed talking to these people because they've been through the process themselves. And when you feel you're not alone and you're talking with somebody who's also been through it, they're not judging you, they're just helping you and sharing their insights and helping you through this journey, you will be amazed and you feel much more free to talk openly about this porn addiction. I'm happy I came out in the open with my porn addiction and showed people the power when they stop watching porn and cultivating healthier relationships with themselves and with other people. If there are some solutions, some things that I haven't mentioned about porn addiction, feel free to just drop them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to learn more about porn addiction and some ways how we can help people to overcome this porn addiction. So I'm happy to have you on this journey. As always, each month we have a new habit challenge. If you would like to join these new habit challenges, feel free to join my Habit Bootcamp's Facebook group, where we hold each other accountable through each monthly habit challenge. So try out some of these habit challenges, see what effects they have after 30 days. Maybe some of these habits will stick and they will change your life. So try them out. Join the group of Habit Bootcamps where we hold each other accountable, and I will see you guys over there. Hey, it's Phil from Habit Bootcamps, and if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe and check out some more videos about habit challenges you could try out.